Welcome back to My Car's Shop. Today, we're going to be firing up the 68 Dart GTS for the first time of the season. Let's see what happens. I have no idea. We'll watch the show intro, and I'll see you in 30 seconds.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
I don't remember what all I've shared on the channel here about this car. I know there's not a lot of episodes, and it was a long time ago. I think I did some carburetor work on it one time, but it was in the old show format before I was really developing the channel, so I'm going to just approach it as though I've not talked about it before. So we're standing here with my 1968 Dodge Dart GTS Pro Street. It hasn't been run since last fall when we parked it for the winter, and so I want to get it fired up today. I want to drive this car this year. I haven't actually had it on the road for a while. There's a few things that will need to be done to it that are going to be coming here on the channel soon. We need to get some tires on the front end, and there's some fuel lines that need to be replaced. But the main thing is we want to get this thing fired up and get it moved out and give it a bath and just look it over and see what work it does need so that we can be driving it this summer. So let's just stop talking about it and let's just start doing it. So the first thing I need to do is put some gas in the fuel cell. I don't have any racing gas right now. I didn't plan ahead as usual, and the place where I buy it is closed on the weekends, so I can't get gas today. So I'm just going to put some regular pump gas in, which means it's going to run like crap, but it'll at least be able to fire it up. It'll probably smoke, probably follow some plugs if we're not careful, but at least we'll be able to get it fired up, get it pulled out, be able to give it a bath, and give it a good look over. I don't know where my prop rod is for the trunk. When I tubbed this car, I had to redo the spring mounts for the trunk lid, and so it doesn't stay up on its own, but normally there is a prop rod in here to hold it. Let's dump gas everywhere. That's good. Oh yeah, this is some old gas. It'll run on it, but it won't like it. But that's fine. We'll put 10 gallons, 15 gallons of racing fuel in here. It's a 20 gallons, it's actually a stock car cell. I chose to go that way rather than a drag racing cell because of the fuel system that I built for it. You can see we have, I believe this is the outlet, and that's the return line. So I mentioned that custom fuel system. We'll talk about that at some point, but I think we have enough gas in here now to be able to get it started up. Hopefully our battery still has some charge. This has a couple of special features. For one thing, it had a fire a few years ago and I haven't gotten the engine apart and cleaned up, so I do want to pull the engine out of this, get some new chrome on it, and paint the engine compartment the same color as the car here at some point. But it's not a top priority because I just like driving it. Hopefully the battery still has charge, like I said. I don't want to have to go get another battery, but we'll find out. So let's see what happens here. So the first thing I'm doing is running the fuel pump, filling up the fuel bowls, and hoping like heck that the floats are still working and not dumping gas down the engine. Looks good, looks dry, good. Let's see if the accelerator pumps are working. Yes, they are. So the work that I did a year or two ago is paying off. So I'm going to put these back on before we fire it because it tends to backfire when it's cold. And of course we don't want to have any big balls of fire that are unnecessary. There we go. I'm going to shut that fuel pump off. There's no point in holding pressure against those floats. Or I should say those needle valves. probably only a quart of racing fuel left in the cell, so it wasn't much. Beautiful allergy day here in Michigan. Also, when I fire it up, I generally don't fire up the fuel pump right away. I try to get it running. So we know we have some juice in the battery. It should be enough. This battery is a really good, expensive interstate, so it should be enough to get it going. I can see I don't want to run it too long. There's some leaves and stuff, but we should be able to fire it. Yes, she is a cold-blooded pig with that tunnel ram, so fortunately the weather's not too cold. That's encouraging. Very encouraging. One thing I just realized I didn't check. After the fire, I temporarily put an oil pressure gauge out here. I just want to make sure it was still hooked up. Because sometimes I'll rob it for other projects, but I thought I put it back where it belongs and it looks like it's tight. So we don't want to be pumping raw oil everywhere. I do need to get this thing hooked up back through the dash where it belongs. I just haven't done that yet. And I feel like there's another piece missing on it here also. I think there might be a oil pressure cutoff switch that I bypassed for the nitrous or something. I'm not sure. So I have to look that over eventually. But right now I think it's going to run. So I'm going to back you up and we'll see if we can pull it out of here. As I said, she's a cold-blooded pig. May have some carburetor issues, I'm not sure. It felt like it was flooding out a little bit, but we'll look at that. Right now I just want to give it a little bit of a bath. Things look good inside. I have glue traps inside for mice during the winter. We didn't catch any mice in it, so I'd been checking it early on, but seeing I wasn't seeing any for months, I just finally stopped. First I've looked at it. So it just smells like mothballs and been stored for the winter and good to go. So we'll do a little bath on this thing. We're going to use some of the Super Clean wheel cleaner on this to see how that works and get it toweled down a little bit and then give it a little better look over. Maybe we'll take it for a buzz up and down the road a little bit. These front tires are really bad, so we're not going to do anything crazy. They're really dry cracked. They're the tires I put on the car over 20 years ago when I built it, and I noticed last fall that the sidewalls are finally just cracking like rubber does, dry rotting out and so forth. So we're going to be real careful with that. We don't want to get carried away. But let's get it cleaned up here. So while my bucket's filling up with soapy water, just using a little Dawn dish soap, but I am using the Super Clean wheel cleaner on this as well, so we'll get that sprayed on there. But I just did want to mention, this is not a GTS clone. This is a 68 Dodge Dart GTS 340 automatic car originally. It's got a 360 automatic in it now. It's obviously a little more than stock. The hood was the very first GTS hood out of the mold from AAR Products. They cut a hole in it for me with the dimensions I gave for fitting around the tunnel ram. The fenders are from Unlimited Products. My recommendation is don't buy them. They're drag race pieces and they're not good for a street car. Someday I intend to replace those with something better, but again, this car is pretty much done as it is. I was going to put a big block supercharged in there. I do have a 671 blower. I've got the big block, but I decided the car works just fine the way it is. and I'm just going to leave it because I've got 8 other cars out there to work on and enjoy. So one of the things I wanted to do was bring this car out today because, quite frankly, I'm tired. Working in the shop, I worked on the Oakland a little bit yesterday. There was nothing film worthy. I was more figuring out what to do with the oil pan screens and so forth. But I'm just tired. I need a break. I wanted something that was going to get my energy up, and this car always does that. Of all the cars in the fleet here, this is the one I've had the longest. I bought this car 1993. I started tubbing it in 1994. I did all the work myself on it except for the paint, which I should have done myself, but I was just burned out on it. But I tubbed it, built the engine, built the transmission. This is the second engine and transmission in it. It's got a 457 gear on a spool, 360, probably 350, 400 horse with a 200 shot of nitrous on top of that. So it gets with the program. It's an amazingly non-breezy day here in Michigan, and I hope you're not getting much wind on the lens or on the microphone from the camera, but it is what it is. So anyway, let's go ahead and just give this thing a good bath, a rinse down, and get her cleaned up. Alright, so not the most exciting thing in the world, but we got it cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and get it chamoised down, and maybe we'll take it for a little drive. You never know. So we'll have to see how it's running. We'll let it warm up a bit and stuff, but I want to get it toweled off so it doesn't water spot. The super clean wheel cleaner cleaned up the wheels nice, took off all the brake dust and grime from sitting. They do need to, I need to spend some time with some mother's polish and go over them. I haven't polished them in years. If there's anybody around close here that would love to be paid to do these wheels, I would love to pay somebody to do it because this is a job I absolutely hate. It's a couple hours of work, and I don't like doing that stuff. So anyway, that's where we're at with it. So let's move forward on the next step here and get her dried off. as I said, it's extremely cold-blooded. So we gotta let it warm up a little bit, and then we'll just run it up down the road in front of the house here, and we'll see how it's running. But I'm gonna open the hood up and just make sure we don't have any big leaks or anything. I knew something wasn't right. I could hear it missing a little bit. We got one plug wire that fell off the distributor. I got to figure out where that goes. Oh, okay, I see. I replaced one temporarily last year. Now I remember. I was having some issues. I think I need a new set of wires, so I've got one that's just hanging there. And I put a temporary smaller one on, not an 8mm. So it's running a little bit rough, but like I said, it's cold. It's the first run of the year. So we're going to let it warm up a bit more, and we'll see what it does. Temperature's starting to come up now. We're holding a good 60 pounds of oil pressure. I smelled a little bit of antifreeze. That may be from last year. It seems like it did overheat on me when I parked it. I could be wrong, I don't remember, so I'm not going to worry about that yet. I don't see anything leaking at this point. All right, I got my earbuds here in case you might have a prayer of a chance of hearing me. Got a feeling we've got a float leaking down a little bit. Maybe we'll have to check that. It's not running rough when it's running, but it's definitely starting hard and blowing a big cloud of smoke. Fuel smoke. Idle's a little high, but we'll see. Well, let's see what it does. Yeah, it's doing all right. It's a manual shift automatic, so I can't really hold the wheel and shift it and everything and hold the phone for you guys. So we're going to try a little something here, see if we can do it. Nope, something's wrong. Okay, so what was wrong was I ran out of gas. You can hear the fuel pump back there just screaming, so that's why it was running like crap. So I wanted to do a burnout for you, but 1 gallon of gas does not go far, especially for the first start of the year, running it as much as I did, getting it warmed up. And that gives you an idea of just how much gas this thing goes through. So you open those dual 4 barrels up and it drinks it all, and she sucks it right down. So at last time I bought it, was about $10 a gallon for cam 2, 108 octane. So do the math. So on the highway I get 6 gallons 6 miles to the gallon, I should say, as long as I'm keeping my foot out of it. 457 gear, 31-inch tall tires. Definitely what it was. Now that I'm not accelerating, it's sucking it out of the bottom of the tank. So we'll do a better ride along once we get some gas in it and stuff like that. So there we go. That's why she was popping and farting. So just so you get a little glimpse of the back here. See the kind of tires we're running on this. She definitely needs a good cleaning. She's dirty. So there she is, 68 Dart Pro Street GTS. I've got a lot of cars that we've been working on in the shop, and you see me pull some of the projects out, like the 74 Swinger and the 47 Ford. But I thought it would be fun today on a nice, semi-cloudy, but sunny, but cloudy, but day. Butt day? Is it a butt day? I don't know. Just to get this thing out and get it cleaned up a little bit and get it ready to evaluate what needs to go on. I got to get that oil pressure gauge fixed. I need to get tires on the front. Hopefully the back tires look good. I don't see anything. I've already replaced them at least once. But the front tires are the original, as I said. So they're just, even though they're hardly any, I mean, in the, if I had this car on the road in 2000, which I think I did, I've probably put 1,000 miles on it. So in 1,000 miles, it's on its second motor, its second transmission, its second set of rear tires. I did go ahead and convert the front end from the drum brakes to the disc brakes when I put this motor in. So it's a car that gets rode hard and put away wet, and does not get well taken care of. That's not what I built it for. I mean, it's maintained, I'm not saying that. But I built this car to beat the daylights out of. So if you remember on the Challenger series, I talked about narrowing the unibody. That's what I did on this car. I used the factory frame rails, narrowed them in 18 inches to fit those big 31-1850 Mickey Thompson tires under the back. 457 gear on a spool, if I didn't say that earlier. Built the cage myself. I bought a Jegs kit, put that 8-point roll cage in there. Did the whole thing myself except for spray the paint. And so that's my GTS. And as I mentioned, I'll post the number here. This car is registered with the GTS registry. It was originally UU1 blue with a transverse white stripe, 340 automatic. Car was from South Carolina. Originally, as far as I know, I bought it from a friend of mine who got it out of an apple orchard over in the center of the state of Michigan. So that's a little bit of history on the car for those that haven't seen it before. I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. The channel is growing like crazy. And like I said, I'm just tired from working in the shop. I just needed a break from getting dirty. Yesterday I spent a lot of brain work time on the Oakland, planning what I'm going to be doing on how I'm going to attach those screens into the oil pan. So that'll be coming soon. But I didn't get it done because there was just a lot of thoughts that went into it, and I did end up having to work yesterday, which on Fridays I normally don't. So, but that's okay. So this will be my Sunday episode. I'm not sure what's coming Tuesday, but remember, we do put out episodes every Friday, every Sunday, and every Tuesday. Or we could say every Tuesday, every Sunday, and every Friday, or we could say every Tuesday, every Friday, and every Sunday. So whatever days you prefer, there's always something here on the channel. I do try to mix it up and keep it interesting. I know a lot of you are here for the e-body project, for the Challenger fabricating project, but some of you are here for the 47 Ford, some of you are here for the 26 Oakland as well. So lots going on, and there'll be more coming soon. We are on Facebook and Instagram /mycarshop. Go over there. There's a couple of cool threads. Over there on that YouTube or on that Facebook page, there's a commercial that I did for this. You might want to check that out. It's just about I think a 30-second, maybe a minute. 37 seconds rings a bell. Anyway, a little commercial for the channel.
Welcome back to My Car Shop. Today we're going to hit the magic YouTube button and show you how to make a frame rail the way YouTube wants you to do it. So here we're starting out with a big piece of sheet metal, and we're going to cut it out and do stuff with it, and then we're going to do other stuff with it, and then before long, just like that, we have a frame rail.
However, the one thing that sets apart our channel is that we go in depth. YouTube.com/mycarshop. Check it out. We go in depth and into detail on how to do things like fabricating this frame rail for Stitches, our 70 Challenger project. We hope you come over and check us out. And as always, as we say on the channel, rock on. So share that around if you would. If you're on Facebook, that would be great. Share it with your friends. Let's try to get some more people over here. That's the only way we're going to grow, is if you guys share it with other people and get them to come over here and get excited. Excuse me, sorry, allergies in Michigan. The other thing over there, and a lot of you guys are doing it, there's a lot of cool pictures coming of the projects you guys are working on. Pinned to the top of the page is a thread, show us your junk. There's a picture of the 88 Power Ram that I've got right underneath it, and we want to see the projects you're working on. So Jimmy and Eric and a couple of others of you that I probably am not remembering right now have been posting stuff over there. Keep doing that. I'd love to just continue sharing our progress on the projects that we're doing. So I guess that'll do it. So I'll shut up, and you guys can watch something else here on the channel because there's a lot to see. Rock on.